its members are affected by the actions of one or a few. Senator Menendez was indicted on corruption charges, but there are not articles about this being a systemic problem with our politicians. Professional football players have been charged with abuse of both their partners and their children, but again, you don't read articles about systemic problems. Police officers are different. Police officers use force, people die, and you do read articles. There's a cartoon in The Nation today that reflect the opinion that every police officer engages in this conduct. Now, this is nothing new. I recall, and I have spoken about this before, the mayor has heard me speak in forums. I recall when I was in a Dunkin' Donuts, it was the early morning hours in the 70s, and what was occurring, what was known as the Rodney King beating. I was in uniform, I was a sergeant, I was watching it with an African-American gentleman, and at the end of it, he turned to me and he said, "What's the big deal? You all do that." Now, for a long time, I've been offended by this. I was offended when I heard that one of my police officers went to the Hyatt 2 weeks ago on a dispute, and an African-American woman, upon his arrival, asked her 3 kids under 10 years old to raise their hands and say, "Champ, don't shoot." I was offended when I heard that last week, officers on a bar call were confronted with a gentleman that turned his back and said, "Do whatever you got to do, shoot me in the back." But I've come to a point where I don't get offended anymore. The mayor's seen this process where I'm trying to figure out why it is that way. And I have a very simple answer. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just 32 years on the street. It's very simple. This governing body has a power. You have a power to affect people's lives with your legislation. You have a power to affect their quality of life. Lawyers have a power. You can make our lives miserable sometimes with legal actions. But police officers have a very unique power. We live in a country where liberty and freedom is the most important thing. It's the foundation of this country. And as soon as you take that oath and you strap on that gun, you are given the power and authority by the state of New Jersey to instantaneously take people's liberty away. You're the only people in this room that can carry a gun legally and take somebody's life. So Officer Murphy and Officer Underhill, when you come up here and you take this oath, as you did a couple of months ago, understand that it is different. Not only should you not be offended by criticism, you should welcome it. It is an absolute power. And with great power comes great responsibility. I don't think I'm being overly dramatic. I don't think there's anybody in this room that doesn't know what's going on in this country. You ready to take the oath? Let's go.
Do solemnly swear
that
I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments
to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of people,
with the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will impartially
that I will impartially
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office
of the office
of Morristown Patrol Officer
Morristown Patrol Officer,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Officer Underhill?
I, Mark Underhill,
I, Mark Underhill,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments
to the government
established in the United States, established in the United States,
established in the United States
and in this state,
and in the state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will impartially
that I will impartially
and justly
and justly
perform
perform
all the duties
all the duties
of the office
of the office
of Morristown Patrol Officer
of Morristown Patrol Officer
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
My final commentary will be that I read the 90-page report put out by Obama's Presidential Task Force, and I started highlighting all the things that I believe we do right at the Morristown Bureau of Police, and most of those pages were highlighted. I appreciate the support of this council and this mayor, and I think it's a two-way street. I'm looking around, and I don't think there's anyone in this room that doesn't have my cell phone number, except the attorney. I'm the only one that doesn't have my cell phone. Thank you. So I appreciate it a lot. And I'm going to ask for some deference. I'll let you inside our world. One of the things we have to do is obtain some normalcy. So since my daughter is down at UPenn for orientation and my other daughter is home alone, I'm going to ask for your graciousness. I'm going to leave. You will be kept secure by those gentlemen in the back. Thank you very much, all of them. Well, they're going to go back in the day. Thank you.